to show you some of the progress I've been making on the GitBooks module integration. So, been playing around with read the docs, as we've showed before, but we've got additional flexibility built into GitBooks now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this repo. Actually, I need the .git. All right, let's grab the repo. This is a repo for Drush. Structure, and we'll have to clean this up obviously, but we're going to tell it, hey, this uses read the docs structure, the documentation for Drush. We're going to tell it whether or not it should auto commit changes and auto push. Obviously, push will fail if you're not on the right version or you don't have access to it. So we're going to do master as the branch tag to check out here. And what this is going to do is, let's skip over to the server real quick. It's gone into my private files directory for this, created a folder called Drush because of the title of that, and then it's checked out the repository into it. Cool thing about Make the Docs, if you've seen Make the Docs, is you get this very simple structure that you can read from, right? And this turns itself into a nice little site. It's awesome. So I can go into the docs folder, and you'll see there's these markdown files. Sweet. So what we've got now, because of the outline, is you see it generated this in our site. So GitBooks takes that Make the Docs structure, turns it into content in here. Awesome. You can see additional progress. This now outputs the markdown correctly because it's got the right input format. You see the Drush documentation looks pretty sweet in Elms, doesn't it? But I really just wanted to edit it. Why can't I edit it? Oh, wait. So what we've got now is got a nice markdown editor being provided. It's Epic Edit. And so I can take that, we can preview what this is going to look like, right? The Drush make there, it's pretty cool. So let's say there was an error in the docs. I'm sure I could find one if I scrolled through. Nobody's perfect, right? But let's say I found a misspelling or something. You did, right? Something like that. I could also hit side-by-side mode, and then we can see the updates, and it's not scrolling at the same time. That would be nice if it did that. I'm not sure if there's a way to enable that, but I could go and delete a huge chunk of this. And if I, let's go to the bottom, original author, maintainers, right? We can see these changes reflected in real time. Hit escape to get back out of that. And we're going to hit save on that. And it saved our page, whatever. Who cares about that? The other thing it's doing, because this is told to auto commit, and this, this isn't finished obviously, is it's going to take the structure of the content and it's going to replicate it in a format that should be what Make the Docs has. So now if I look at Make the Docs YAML, we'll see it's different if you remembered it from before. It's taken the titles and given a path to the titles that matches the actual structure. So my files in ElmsLN, the documentation also doesn't match this because you make shorthand file names. But what we'll be able to do with this is actually use Drupal to produce read the docs content and manage it. So you could drag stuff around. You could use the outline designer successfully. If we go into docs, you'll see that file from before created general, and then it created that make.md. So if I look at make.md, this is the file that I was editing in the Drupal front end. The other thing it does is, because we've got auto commit mode on, if I go back up and we do git status, you can see that there's been changes to Make the Docs and this folder over here. In general, we've got no changes to commits. So yeah, this is getting pretty sweet now. So what we could do is, I could be looking at this, the documentation for Make, drop a child page in there. We've got it automatically detecting that this is part of a Git book, and so it switches the input filter to Markdown. Markdown is super approachable, and the title of this is going to be Cool Stuff. And so save, again showcasing that, right? We've got that in there. We've got our cool outline here. Now if I scroll over to the doc structure, we'll look under general, we'll see that we now have a make folder, and then in the make folder we've got cool stuff.markdown, which has everything in there. Can't help but smile. And so let's jump over to maybe writing commands. Writing commands has its own hierarchy. You know, let's use edit child outline. This is a cool mode in Outline Designer where you actually modify the things below it. And we're going to change this to that. Change the text of that. Bootstrapping all the things, right? So maybe I make some real quick changes to my doc structure. And we're going to move that under there. Cool, so it's a child of that. We're going to jump in, we're going to hit add content, things and stuff, right? And then we're going to jump in and edit this page that we just made. Mark down all the things. Sorry, scroll down there for a second. Hit save on that Yahoo. And check out our structure. Cool, we've got that reflected there. Kept all the changes that we made, including adding our items. And now let's see what it did on the command line. So we've got our writing commands, and we've got our bootstrapping all the things. All those changes that I just made, it was auto-committing behind the scenes. I haven't actually tested this until right now. This is stinking awesome. And now it's taken our structure and kicked it out into read the docs format as well. So certainly not done. I'm pushing the code up to Dribbble.org right now, but it's very promising. Very promising. We'll also be supporting other formats. We're looking into just straight up Markdown, a open curriculum specification that we're working on that could drive Elms and put all of the specifications to generate courses and ecosystems of courses actually out in the open securely. So very, very neat stuff for this project. I'm getting really excited about it.